Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm NURFAKHIRAH binti ZUKI, a member of Group 4 from AC40. So we will be presenting about a comparative analysis of public accounting in Malaysia and Brunei. So throughout this study, we will be comparing about public sector accounting in Malaysia and Brunei to get better understanding on how each country manage its finance. So both countries have cultural and regional similarities, but their economies and government system are different. So by studying their accounting practices, we can find the similarities and the differences in these two countries. So public sector accounting is the most important part of managing money in government agencies. Its job is to carefully record, analyze, and explain all the complicated financial transactions and processes that make the public sector work. It includes a wide range of tasks such as collecting taxes, keeping an eye on spending, tracking government property, and managing public funds in an open and honest way. So next, I will be presenting about the importance of public sector accounting. So first, public sector accounting is a complex process where it involves systematic collection, sorting, and summarization of financial data, and it also ensures the accurate tracking of public funds, trust funds, and the government assets. Next is the decision-making support. It provides valuable financial information to government officials and stakeholders, and also aids in assessing financial health and making informed fiscal decisions. Third is aids in budgeting planning. It demonstrates responsible management and allocation of national resources while provide data for realistic budgeting and financial planning. Fourth is monitoring and control, where public sector accounting oversees the use of funds and resources. It also ensures effective and purposeful fund utilization. So the next importance of public sector accounting is enhance the governance. It promotes transparency and accountability in government operations and ensures the taxpayer money is used wisely and effectively. Next is legal compliance. It ensures annual preparation and auditing of accounts and promotes the adherence to legal and regulatory requirements. Public sector accounting also crucial in performance management, where it compares actual financial performance with targets and also facilitates adjustment to enhance efficiency and effectiveness. Lastly is operational efficiency, where it helps evaluate economic, efficient, and effective use of resources and enhance government's operation and optimal use of public resource. So I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum, my name is AFIQAH, BINTI ARIFF. I'll be presenting the legal and regulatory framework governing public sector accounting in Malaysia and Brunei. So first is the Federal Constitution is the foundation of Malaysia's financial governance, and it establishes the financial relationship between the federal and state government and mandates the creation of the consolidated fund. Moving on to the government accounting standards, Malaysia used the Malaysian Public Sector Accounting Standards, or we call as MPSAS. And next is about the Audit Act in Malaysia. This act defines the role of the Auditor General. Next, moving on to Brunei, the Federal Constitution outlines the financial powers and responsibility of the government, and it mandates the establishment and management of the consolidated fund and requires legislative approval for public expenditures. Second is Brunei has adopted the International Public Sector Accounting Standards, or IPSAS. And for the Audit Act in Brunei, this act defines the role and independence of the Auditor General. I will explain about standard and guidelines. In Malaysia, the Malaysian Public Sector Accounting Standards MPSAS are used. MPSAS employs the accrual basis of accounting, where transactions are recorded when they occur, not when cash is exchanged. So this results in comprehensive financial statements and enhances transparency and accountability. Brunei, on the other hand, directly adopts IPSAS like MPSAS, but IPSAS use the accrual basis, providing a true recording of financial activities and detailed financial statements. So both countries aim to ensure high-quality financial reporting. MPSAS and IPSAS promote consistency, transparency, and accountability in the public sector. Moving on to institutional setup, in Malaysia, two main institutions are the National Audit Department and the Accountant General's Department. So the National Audit Department, which is led by Auditor General, audits the financial statements of the federal and state government, and their reports are submitted to Parliament. For the Accounting General's Department oversees the federal government's financial management, which is they prepare financial statements and ensure expenditures align with the budget. Now, for Brunei, the key institutions are the Treasury Department and the State Audit Institution, which is the Treasury Department, part of the Ministry of Finance and Economy, handles financial operations, prepare financial statements according to IPSAS. Second is the State Audit Institution, which is headed by the Auditor General, which is audit government entities' financial statements, ensuring they comply with laws and regulations. Audit findings are reported to the Sultan, ensuring oversight and accountability. So both countries have robust institutional setups to ensure effective financial management and accountability in the public sector. Now I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is NATASHA. So I continue with the next presentation, which is about accountability in Malaysia and Brunei. So public sector financial management is a comprehensive process that ensures the responsible administration of public funds and property with the goal of meeting the public requirement and demand in an effective and efficient manner. So both countries ensure responsible administration of public finance and resources with the goal of maintaining public trust and providing effective public service. However, there are differences, with Malaysia placing more emphasis on public engagement and transparency. For example, the MRT project aims to improve public transport and provide facilities to citizens using public funds. So this demonstrates Malaysia's accountability towards its citizens. So every aspect of accountability comes with transparency. So every detail about the MRT project is communicated and meetings are held to ensure the project meets community needs and expectations. While in Brunei, they practice control transparency with limited public interaction, tightening control over information flow to the population. So this can erode trust and limit public accountability, as critical information about government activities, policies, and decisions is often withheld. So for instance, the Tumburan Bridge project in Brunei lacks detailed financial disclosure and independent review, with updates primarily from state control media. So this limits public insight into decision making and financial management. So it will raising question and resources efficiency and project accountability. Next, we have Malaysia that operates under a federal constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary system. Executive power rests with the Prime Minister and Cabinet, fostering a greater public participation and transparency. So every project in Malaysia is overseen by the National Audit Department and the Public Accounts Committee. So the NAT will conduct mandatory annual review and rotational assessment every 3 years to ensure compliance with financial laws and efficient fund management. So the PAC will examine reports from the NAT and the Accountant General Department, scrutinizing government spending to ensure transparency and accountability. So this oversight help ensure that public funds are used effectively and project meets the public expectation. While in Brunei, the centralized monarchy gives the Sultan broad executive power, meaning all decision and project oversight are managed directly by him and his official. So this tight control limits public participation and transparency, with updates provided through state control media often lacking detailed financial disclosure and independent reviews. As a result, residents have limited access to information regarding government operation, policies, and decision-making process. So this centralized system limits public engagement and institutional checks on the government action. In conclusion, we can conclude that Malaysia focus on public engagement and transparency builds confidence in government initiative, ensuring they meet public needs. So, in contrast, Brunei regulated transparency and limited public interaction may lead to less involvement and potentially weaker accountability. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is NAZIHAH binti AMIZAD, and I will continue with the next presentation, in which the comparison between Brunei and Malaysia on financial reporting standard. In Malaysia, all companies must create financial statement to show their financial health, following guidelines set by the Malaysian Accounting Standard Board (MASB). Local companies use the Malaysian Financial Reporting Standard (MFRS), while foreign companies can choose internal standard like IFRS. There are 3 accounting standards: MFRS for the most entities, the All Private Entity Reporting Standard (PERS) that have been changed to Malaysian Private Entities Reporting Standard (MPERS) in January 1, 2016. Private entities can use either MPERS or MFRS for their financial reports. As for Brunei, there are two sets of accounting standards, International Financial Reporting Standard (IFRS) and Brunei Darussalam Accounting Standard (BIDAS). IFRS is used by public interest entities (PIs) like companies trading publicly, ensure global transparency and comparability. BIDAS is for smaller private entities with less public accountability, offering standard suit to their size and simpler financial activities. This dual system helps all businesses in Brunei follow appropriate accounting rules for effective financial management and reporting. Now I will explain the comparison between Malaysia and Brunei on budgeting process. Malaysia budgeting process start with government departments and agencies submitting their financial needs for upcoming project to the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry review this proposal to ensure they fit with the government priorities and resources. Stakeholders including official experts and the public give feedback to make sure that the budget meets societal needs. The final budget is then presented to the legislative body for review and approval, becoming the official guide for government spending for the next year. As for Brunei, the budget cycle has several key steps. First, the government set budget limit based on available money and priorities. These limits are discussed and approved by government leaders at cabinet meetings. Then, letters are sent to ministries asking for their budget proposal. Ministries submit their requests, which are reviewed by the Secretariat. The National Budget Committee examines this proposal and makes recommendation. The Cabinet meets again to approve the final budget. The approved budget is then presented to the National Assembly for endorsement and becomes law. Finally, warrants are issued to officials to manage and implement the budget.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURALEEYA binti ASRI. Now I will talk about challenge that has to be faced by the public sector in Malaysia and Brunei. So, a public sector accounting in Malaysia faces several challenges, including standardization and compliance with a Malaysian public sector accounting standard, or we call it AMIZAD, alike with IPSAS, which varies in implementation across a different government level due to varying capability and resource. Enhancing transparency and accountability is critical, with issues like corruption and misuse of funds undermining public trust. Limited capacity and appetite among accountants as is state a continuous training program often hindered by adequate funding. Technological integration is inconsistent with many agencies rely on outdated systems affecting efficiency and accuracy. So, next, political influence. Political influence can obstruct reform and affect objective financial management. To address this issue, Malaysia is gradually adopting emphasis to improve financial reporting quality, support training program to build capacity, strengthening governance through audit committee and anti-corruption measure, and investing in the modern accounting system and integrate financial management information system, or we call it IFMIS, for a better accuracy and efficiency. So next, public sector accounting in Brunei also face several challenges, including the need for a standardization and compliance with the international accounting standard and local regulation, which are not fully tailored to Brunei context. Enhancing transparency and accountability in financial reporting is crucial to build public trust, while issue of accuracy and completeness in the financial data process. There is a shortage of qualified public sector accountant knowledgeable in international standard, necessitating continuous profession development. The integration of advanced technology in accounting system is still nascent, with implementation challenge across a government agency. So, for a political influence poses a risk to the independence of a financial management practice and audit institution. For reform initiatives include adopting and tailoring international public sector accounting standard, or we call it IPSAS, and a strengthening governance framework for accountability and transparency, or investing in modern financial management system and building capacity through comprehensive training program and international collaboration. So this is a comparative analysis that Malaysia and Brunei share their similarity in their public sector accounting system, include a robust legal and regulatory framework. They also have a commitment to IPSAS, emphasis on transparency and accountability, use of government financial management system, and investment in training public sector accountant. However, there also have a difference that Malaysia has a fully adopt IPSAS, provide more detailed financial report, has a comprehensive audit system, and use advanced performance-based budgeting. In contrast, Brunei has adopted IPSAS gradually has a simpler financial report, less frequent audit, and less integrated budget process. So for best practice suggests Brunei could adopt Malaysia full IPSAS implementation and advanced budgeting, while Malaysia could consider Brunei simplified report format for accessibility. Enhance our public engagement in audit finding is recommended for Brunei.
In conclusion, this comparative analysis of public sector accounting in Malaysia and Brunei reveals both similarities and differences in their frameworks, budgeting, financial reporting, auditing, and accountability mechanism. So both countries emphasize transparency and accountability, even though Malaysia use segmented accounting standard, while Brunei adopt international standards. The key challenges include ensuring accurate financial reporting and governance, with recent reform focusing on adopting new standard and improving process. By learning from each other's practices, both countries can enhance their public financial management and governance. So that's all from us about a comparative of public sector accounting in Malaysia and Brunei. Thank you.